closing session. I'm waiting for the cameras to be turned on for all the team leads. Mukam, Marsha, Shatara, Kendrick. I hope everybody has enjoyed themselves today, and we thank you so much for joining us thus far. This is our very first virtual conference that we've planned, and I think that we've navigated it just fine. The theme of our conference today was writing our own narrative. And that's something that we've been doing all along, is educating our communities from a Black woman's perspective, from a lived and shared experience with our communities. And when our team leads come on, we're going to talk to you about where we move forward from here and what we need from you and how you can join us, along with having the opportunity to hear a poem written just for this conference. Marsha, I see you online. Michelle, Shatara, Donna, Kendrick. I see Kendrick, I see Shatara. Can you guys unmute your mics?
Hey.
Hello.
Hello, everybody, and welcome, Tiffany.
Oh, hello, hello.
Well, thank you all, and thank you, wonderful team lead, for all of your work throughout the years in keeping this going. My question for you is, we've talked a lot about sustaining, outside of this conference. And so for your teams, can you just speak to the audience and expressly speak to people in your region or people who have resources who want to partner with you about what you want and how they should connect with you so that they can continue on the partnerships? We know that we absolutely have to work together in order to survive. And specifically, we need young people. We need to be concerned about our elderly people. There are a lot of folks who are 60, 70, 80 years old who are living with HIV, who still need resources, who need for us to care for them. So I'm gonna go down the line and y'all tell me who you need at your table, outreach to them so they can connect you and be a part of your team and be a part of this fabulous work that's been showcased. We have 4 videos in all, 2 that are on our landing site, and then we have 2 videos that we presented here. That's just a scratch of the kind of work that we do and that we've done. So Marsha, I'm gonna start with you. What do you need on your team?
So I wanna say this was absolutely freaking amazing. I didn't think I was gonna make it the whole time, but I haven't left not one. All I did was change clothes and got into bed. One of the things that I would say is to, what we needed to, I think, is to expand our reach. There's so many folk that we are engaged with are not necessarily folk living with HIV, or not necessarily folks serving people living with HIV, but we're all impacted in some way. Mm-hmm. And so I think the thing that we need to do in this community is really start, and I think you all have been doing a really good job at it, but really starting to expand our reach. And that can even be folk at the, people who run the corner stores, because we're all impacted by this stuff. But expanding the reach, that's what I would say, that even getting past the healthcare community. So I'm not just saying expanding our reach and removing ourselves from folk who are serving people living with HIV, but serve the people who are serving us with our high blood pressure too. No, I'm saying make it global, make the community global, expand the reach.
I like that. Thank you. Kendrick, what do you have for us?
I'm agreeing with Marsha, because by expanding that reach, you invite more people to the table. You open that dialogue with a lot of people that the questions have not been asked, or the answers have not been given because it has not been spoken. So by expanding that reach and inviting more people in, then those questions can be answered. The more and more community engagement and more community involvement can happen. A lot of that has been missing in a lot of the programs that we've tried to do, because you still have, and let's face it, there's still stigma. It shouldn't be, but there's still stigma out there. But once you open that dialogue up and you start getting people to participate more, they begin to freely give themselves over into whatever program you have. And I believe by expanding ourselves and giving ourselves that reach, we'll be able to bring more people in.
All righty. Shatera?
I piggyback what both Marsha and Kendrick said. I think one thing we have to realize that it starts with a conversation. I was raised on that philosophy of closed mouth don't get fed. And, it's very true. And if we don't open our mouths up, especially when we're talking about creating our own narrative, changing our narrative, writing our own narrative, we have to engage and be vocal about our needs, our wants, as we move forward. And I think that each team across the state is really looking at ensuring that we expand our reach, but we also open up that line of communication, because that's really important. If we're not able to talk about it, how can we expect other people to talk about it? And talk about what we need as Black women when it comes to HIV, when it comes to reproductive justice, when it comes to domestic violence, when it comes to health and wellness. We have to communicate.
Okay. Donna?
I'm sorry, hold on. Let me turn
Okay.
this down, Marsha. I don't want to get in trouble, Marsha.
Mukam?
I'm working. But I think that we should be able to reach more out to young people. And I think it's, for some reason, like I was saying, heterosexual men do not want to be in anything. I don't know if it's the stigma that they think, if y'all see me, that I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people in Dallas area. How about that? So we got to reach out more to them, and a little bit of everybody. Communication is the key. It's the key to everything that we do.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mukam?
I just reiterating this theme, I think we're all on the same page with extending our reach or expanding our reach. And that includes, to young people, so that, because we see today from the breakout sessions that young people have skills and they have a lot to offer. So, recruiting and bringing on board more young people, and extending, and we can do this through extending our social media presence. Also providing more outreach to trans-identified people, which may mean training ourselves up. We had started in our chapter of just educating ourselves to be ready to, bring more trans-identified people in. And then finally, expanding our reach, the same injustices that caused a Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, or George Floyd are the same issues that make Black people, disproportionately represented in the HIV epidemic. And so we have to address and do that anti-racism work to address that structural racism that makes us vulnerable to HIV in the first place.
Thank you. Michelle, you're on mute. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yes, I'm driving to my next location. I think in addition, one of the ways that I'd love to see our team expand our reach would be by having social media platforms that are updated pretty much every day, like what I heard in the Connecting with Young People session, where we get quotes out there, we get conversations out there, we're blogging. I don't know if we have anybody in our area so far that's got that kind of time to really make sure that we even have TikToks out there, everything. Instagram, we need to be out there so that people know there is somewhere a safe place to express themselves, especially our sexual health.
Thank you. And for those of you who have not hung out with us before, again, this is our 10th year anniversary. And each year since the very first beginning, we have a conference where we build capacity and outreaching to youth. And we have a number of topics that we cover, from 501c3s to when they're talking about expanding our reach. I want y'all to understand that we are here and we're available. And if you notice in the videos, you see people of all races and nationalities, men, women, gay, straight, et cetera, et cetera. So we are available to continue to do the work that we've been doing. And if you like what you saw today, or if you have questions about how you can be a part of what we're doing or how you can help us expand what we're doing, which is simply getting the word out. We are the community. And so we know our stories, we know each other's stories. So being able to effectively communicate those stories to men, women, boys, and girls, people in the community, knowing their status, knowing what to do if they need help, that's information that we can share with each other that we want to share with you. We're open to learning from everyone, where we, as you saw throughout this program, we have allies. Black, white, red, brown, blue, green. We don't discriminate. We partnership and we collaborate. And with that, we do want to say thank you so much to the audience who has participated with us today, to all of the presenters, to all of the people behind the scenes that you didn't necessarily see their faces, but there's a whole team at DSHS and our planning committee at the UT at Austin. And we also have our wonderful videographer, Tiffany Malone, who created those wonderful videos that you saw telling our stories. A picture is truly worth 1,000 words. And the way that she put those pictures together and highlighted, even the way she edited all the videos to make sure everybody looked as polished as possible. We definitely want to give a huge shout out to Tiffany, a young person, for her wonderful work, and absolutely everybody who has supported us today. So as we are preparing to close, Miss Tiffany Scales, are you ready?
I am now. Hello, everybody. I just want to say thank you to Shatera for inviting me to participate in this beautiful celebration, and to tell you all happy anniversary. 10 years is a very big mark to leave, especially when we've survived several chaotic, disasters in the last 10 years, as well as this current pandemic we're experiencing. So for your diligence and for your labor, I just want to tell each of you I'm grateful. I have been indirectly impacted in the community that I live in, with loved ones and family, and knowing that we have resources, knowing that we have tools and individuals who are working as a collective to make sure that stigma is broken and that we can stay resourceful and educated is just phenomenal. And I don't know if anyone outside of your circles have really just applauded your work and told you how much it's powerful and appreciated, but I truly do. I truly do appreciate what you all do. I do have something special for you. What's exciting is I haven't written it yet. So some of you are not present, but those of you who are in the room to be able to leave words, the leaders that represent these 8 teams of the Texas Black Women's Initiative here, I would like you to see if you can keep up. I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath with me, and anyone listening can of course oblige. But the leaders here, I want you to take a deep breath with me, and as you exhale, whatever word comes to mind, I'd like you to type it in the chat, and then I will leave you with my gifts. 1, 2, 3, take a deep breath in, and slowly exhale. And for those who are listening, I just ask that you keep taking those deep breaths, because I kind of hold mine in the process. To those affected by the effects of it, my heart goes out to you. To those ignorant, to the pain it causes the inside hearts of those left behind, let me tell you, not a day goes by we don't cry. And just because you don't know the strength of those who are in need, trying to realize the release of those tears and the dry traces down their faces, we don't always seem to be seen when we're crying. But those we have been complying with the fortitude of trying to maintain this gratitude of knowing that even in the dark spaces, we have courage enough to keep going. I know that this love is so incredible, and how could we not explain my gratitude even when the lights flicker? Because every sense of our own remembrance is more so the actions of our dash. You know, the beginning and the end is just something to remember, but that process in between is what we leave behind. And this legacy that you have all invested in, whether it be your money or your time, has been something worth repeating. And in 10 years, I believe that you could be so much more powerful than we've considered, because the peace that you bring to tables of families and friends and loved ones who otherwise did not know they could still live past the tense of someone else's circumference of a mind frame because they've been too closed off by ignorance. You empower them. You allow them to be floored by the joy that they can still feel worthy of being able to be respected. And I know the wordlessness of those who could never find the words because they've not been exposed to the ability to find brevity to be so simple. I'm grateful. I truly appreciate how reinvigorated these communities can become when they allow themselves to really understand what it is to feel powerful. I mean, filled with the power. The Holy Ghost is not the only experience you'll have in church, but sometimes when you know the worth of someone's work and you realize that even the people on this platform have still had to be human in their own privacies of their homes, literally still facing their own pandemic, literally still facing their own crises and losses and the grief that they've had to subject themselves to, because life is inevitably going to end. We don't realize how beautiful it is to know that sometimes it's just easier to tug on the rope and realize that we don't have to depend on our own strength, because we get it so many ways. Like being able to reach out to your colleagues and friends, your peers and constituents, and being able to understand what it means to really feel connected. This pandemic has truly disconnected so many people, so many organizations and businesses, but isn't it beautiful how we can come together on a Zoom and zoom in on a view that makes you realize just how connected you still are, this community of people. These beautiful women of color, these Black women of strength, these courageous beings of love. I am so elated to be able to share with you what it is to know when someone has put forth the effort, the labor, the work, and the love just to make you have the tools to get through your day and not have to be so disenfranchised and marginalized as they have placed you in so many ways. We know that we are strengthened by the ways that we have faith in. And if you would just take that deep breath in and remember the blessing of being able to exhale and the gift of having another breath to follow. Those small things to count are blessings enough for the day. But if you have anyone within your reach, anyone within your cell phone or your text or your email or even the computer screen to remind you that you exist, and even in the days where you find the most darkest, find a mirror, flip the switch, see the light, ignite yourself, and understand that this is just a space for you to really fully embrace your life. Thank you.
That was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. And again, thank you everybody for joining us. I think there is a survey in the link. And if you didn't participate in a survey and didn't fill one out while we were here, then I'm sure we're going to be sending one out to you. So in addition to thanking all the people that we wanted to thank, we do have some upcoming events that we want you to tune into. Ms. Marsha Jones, who you may or may not have seen earlier in the presentation, has an event coming up with the Achieving Together on Monday, November 16th from 11 to 12:30. So please join them for that presentation. The information is in the chat box, and you also see the information that's located on your scene or on the screen. So with that, everybody, we thank you, we celebrate you, and we thank you for celebrating with us and our 10-year anniversary. And again, the folks that we want to acknowledge are on the screen right now. I'm your leads. Thank you all so much. And with that, we bid you all good evening.